Well, it was a bit of a shock, a bit of a surprise. It's the first anybody's heard about it is when Boris drops this line about passports into a presentation to an internal committee in Parliament that he was making. So the first anybody's heard about it is then. So everybody's been taken back because we just haven't got a clue what it means, what the idea behind it is. Is it compulsory? Is it voluntary? And I think it's just going to cause confusion out there in the pub industry because they don't know what it means at the moment. So we need more details. However, I think it's not a good idea because it would appear he's implied it's going to be voluntary. So how, as a consumer, are we to know which pubs are going to require and which ones aren't? You could, for example, if you happen to be going out for a few drinks and you're going to visit 2 or 3 pubs, you could have one wanting it and the others not. And it seems to be kind of poorly thought out. And then if we look at what are they going to issue to you to prove that you've got it. So let's take the worst case scenario. If they decide it's going to be on an app, well, a big proportion of the population don't have smartphones, so you're going to have publicans, licensees, policing who can come into their pub and discriminating against certain people because of their lack of technology. So overall, it's just a nightmare, and I don't know how it could possibly be successful. Well, that's the other thing, yeah. So if this is going to be a new criteria for opening in June, well, as we know, we're progressing very well with over 50s receiving the jabs in this country, and 28 million people adults in this country have now had the jab. But what about the other half of the population? And if they've not got a jab, is it fair for a publican to have to be that person deciding who can come through his door? When these people haven't even had the chance to get vaccinated. And to be honest, when you look at most pubs have got a cross section of their customers are across the ages, they therefore are going to have an issue with stopping certain people getting in and allowing others in. And also the other thing that's come off the back of this is it seems to be again that they're picking on pubs. Why pubs? Well, are they going to have a vaccine passport to go to the supermarket? Well, it doesn't appear to be. Nobody's mentioned supermarkets. So again, an industry which you proved to be very safe have gone out of their way to support this and to put in measures to make them COVID secure, is suddenly discriminated against again when others just seem to be free to allow any Tom, Dick and Harry in their establishment. Well, no, it's a community pub run by a couple with very few staff, where they're practically running themselves. Yeah, that is a big problem for them. They're going to have to add an extra layer of checking there, maybe an extra member of staff to police the front door, to stop people getting in, and that adds to costs at a time when they're going to be reduced numbers anyway. And if they have to turn away customers, even lower numbers of people coming through the door, less turnover for the pub. So it could be the final nail in a lot of pubs' coffins, and they could be forced to close because they just cannot afford it. But again, we don't know if it's compulsory or if it's going to be voluntary, and it's not fair to ask a licensee to have to police that. It just doesn't make sense.